Week 3 of NFL. There we go. There you have it. What more you got to say? We could talk about the Giants and the Browns. The fact that the Giants actually pulled it together for once. Good for them. Bravo. Talk about the Vikings beating the Texans. I wouldn't say that's as surprising. The Texans are notoriously, I would think of as the tougher team. Vikings with a new quarterback. Good on them. Heard morale's really good over there, so bound to be good things. Broncos over the Bucks. My boy Baker, heartbroken. Also, Sean Payton, just not my kind of dude. I mean, obviously he had some success in the Saints. Good for him. Tried TV for a while, and then he's like, you know what? Got to get back out there. Harsh. Last year, he didn't know what he was doing with his team. Seems like with a rookie, he has the ability to shape him a little bit more. Go Bo Nix. Got his first touchdown in the NFL. Keep on going, boy. You got it. Panthers over the Raiders. Another heartbreaking thing. I mean, obviously, Andy Dalton, good for him. We saw that coming, kind of, right? Like, debut. Let's get this going in the right direction. I mean, I feel like I kind of saw it coming. It would have sucked if we would have lost or just fallen flat on his face. Rams over the 49ers. Posted something the other day that currently the 49ers are out $100 million. If you think about in terms of players who are out currently. That's a big deal. Week 1, they were on the way to the Super Bowl. Okay? Like they were week 1, step 1, week 2, stone 2, on their way through the river to get to the Super Bowl. And now half their team is out. We don't know which way's up. And then they lose to the Rams, which, I mean, no offense, the Rams are great, but they also have their own problems in the wide receiver area. Like, what is happening in San Francisco? P.S. Side note, asterisk, fantasy football. CMC is not coming back. Let's be real. I mean, unless they are rolling on the way to the Super Bowl, is he really coming back in December? Is he? He's probably not. Shed a tear for my fantasy team. Terrible, terrible, terrible. I hate it. I mean, you know, you got to take care of yourself. But this sucks. Commanders over the Bengals. I mean, a lot can be said about this game. I mean, I'm watching the Bengals play offensively, and Joe Burrow and all of his friends seem like they're playing great football. He looks confident. He's throwing it down the field to Jamar Chase in the first 3 minutes of the game. Touchdown! Then what in the world happened? The Commanders did not punt one time. They scored every drive, 5 of them, I believe it was. And this kid looks so confident on the field. He's telling his coach, let's go. We're not kicking this ball. I've got it. I'm going to convert this. Watch. Just watch me. And we did. We watched him do that all night long. All night long. Good for him. She talks football. She doesn't know football. So want to know exactly what is happening with the Bengals. Is their defense really that bad? Or has their schedule just been that good? Is it timing? Is it fate? Is it juju? What is it? Are they going to get it together? Because it feels like they should. But through 0-3 feels like an extra slow start for them, in my opinion. Speaking of 0-3, we currently have 3 teams that are 0-3. We've got the Bengals, we have the Titans, and we have the Jags. Again, seems like an outlier in that 0-3 area, the Bengals meaning. And then we have our A+ Angels 3-0. Bills, Steelers, Chiefs, Vikings, Seahawks. Seahawks! What? The Seahawks are 3-0. Again, what has their schedule been like? And I mean, is it just timing? Is it great? Is everything wonderful? Is the chemistry great? Are things flowing? Is it wonderful, perfect, and A+? Who knows? I think it's crazy. I think it's crazy to talk about who we have at the 3-0, who we have at the 0-3, and the way that all of this was written before the season started. So obviously the Chiefs were going for their three-peat. Oh my God, yes, Chiefs are still going to be the Chiefs. Whether they had a slow start or not, I don't think we'd be talking about them falling flat on their face yet, unless they were 0-3. And there wasn't some obvious reason for that. 49ers were on their way to the Super Bowl. Now they're not. Nobody cares. And what's going to happen with the Shanahan offense, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. With the Bills, it's like, okay, Josh Allen is a scary, wonderful, perfect, amazing quarterback, right? But he always chokes. Like, that's the story. So I feel as like they're kind of doing what they should be doing and what they always have done, only they're having more fun doing it because someone, Stephon Diggs, is no longer. Everyone is having more fun without him there, and they're still winning. No offense to him. He seems like a very, very charismatic cheerleader, football passionate, like let's win this now type of person, which I feel like you definitely need on a football field. But there's something about his delivery that always seemed to rub people the wrong way, whether it was timing or approach or language. I just seems like everybody's having a little bit more fun doing what they always do over there. So kudos to them. And Damar Hamlin with his first NFL INT. Hearts out to you, Damar. That was great. Everybody's so excited. He came on the Pat Show talking about how playing football for him, the Bills gave him a lot of space to feel what he wanted to feel as far as last year goes and kind of get over the hump in terms of anxieties and triggers and whatnot. And it really spoke to me because he said that, for him and his inner circle, like it's an everyday thing. Every time he's out on the field, from the time he wakes up till the time he goes to bed, there's gratitude, there's fear, there's awareness of what he went through and the fact that who knows if it could happen again? Who knows if it could happen to somebody else? Who knows? So use every second and just love the game. And I love him for that. I think that that's great. It's one of those moments, like we're watching it in front of our eyes. We were all there when it happened, and we've watched him, turn it right back around and kick up the gas. And, it's great. It's great. It's history. It's NFL history. In terms of other hype things, Jayden Daniels is officially the best player in the NFL. Did you guys know that? Did you know he's the best NFL quarterback rookie to ever hit the streets of the NFL? Apparently that's the narrative now because they're doing well. And he had a fantastic game where he was confident. He was a leader. He just led that team to a incredibly dominant victory. No question. The Commanders led that game, whether by points or by structure, the entire time. And he was behind that. I get that. And yes, there is a secret ingredient to football games. There is chemistry between the two teams. There's chemistry within each team. There is timing. There is motivation. There is momentum. And to say that he is on the level of CJ Stroud, I think jumping the gun. Way jumping the gun. I think that he has a lot to prove. I think that he's a fantastic, fantastic rookie quarterback. And I'll just say I'm going to watch him, and that's it. Moving on. Malik Willis is the greatest quarterback in the NFL right now. Backing the actual greatest quarterback in the NFL, which is Jordan Love. How in the hell is this backup quarterback winning us so many games and doing all the right things at all the right times? It's like football gods are like, doop, Super Bowl. Packers are winning the Super Bowl. Like, look at them go. Look at them go. Jordan Love, honey, you take your rest. You take your time. Have some tea. We got the Vikings this week. Woo! We got the Vikings this week. I can't wait for that game. But at this point, it's kind of like, yeah, like we want Jordan Love back. But like, if you're not feeling great and you're not feeling up to it, Malik Willis has got this. He's got this. He can beat the Vikings for us. Absolutely. A+. Whoop, whoop. Go, Pack, go. I'm curious about, Kurt Warner made a comment about how I don't know the exact comment, but it was something along the lines of holding people accountable, especially on those Monday morning talk shows, writing the narrative for the Sunday spread of games. And he's like, how in the world can people make a judgment on a player, on a team, on a coaching staff, etc.? How are you watching these? How are you watching the games and then watching the tape to make a judgment or a determination of who this person is from here on out? I want to applaud you, Kurt Warner. Applaud, 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 applaud. Because I think as someone who absorbs sports media, it's one of those things where you recognize that that's impossible. But for some reason, like the people who talk about it must have superpowers, or they divide and conquer. And the people who are talking about the games are talking about the games that they know. and their partners are talking about the games that they don't know, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But he was straight up like, listen, how are y'all watching these games? Because I'm barely halfway through. I'm not through until tonight or tomorrow morning, aka Tuesday. Because he wants the real data out there. He wants what he saw from his expert opinion as a previous NFL quarterback, which I love. I think that these headlines and the narratives and the absolute statements that are made make football exciting. Like, hashtag Packers are winning the Super Bowl in 2025. In February of 2025, the Green Bay Packers will be the Super Bowl champions. Absolute statements like that. Like, of course they will be. But, Jayden Daniels is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's the best rookie. He's better than CJ Stroud. I think that that's what makes it exciting, because it's an obvious, like, bam, smack in the face type of statement. But you kind of know that that's not true, but also now you're going to watch him. And now you're going to watch him for the next big flop, or you're going to watch him for the next big leap to greatness because of that statement, which I love. And I think it makes it exciting, because if we were all like giving everybody the benefit of the doubt, giving teams the benefit of the doubt that lost, or being mildly impressed by teams that are at 3-0 at this point and are just dominating, I get it. That's not exciting. That's boring. That's football. I get it. But, and I'm not saying to stop. I'm just saying to consider the other side. Consider the other side. Consider these kids that are hearing these things about them, or these grown men who, played their whole football career and then took a break and then decided to coach because they love it and they were good and they're great and they're amazing. And they're hearing that now, like, maybe they're not the best choice for this team. And it's like, okay, pop the brakes for a second. For whatever it's worth, here's my side. And I don't feel like we give them that chance, because whether organizations don't want that side out, whether organizations want a certain disposition to be obvious to the public, aka, I'll give you an example. The Raiders are like, Raider Nation, like, we're tough and we're hard, and like, this is how we play football. We're rough. You're gonna get your asses kicked when you play us. And they're not gonna talk about, hey, we're just having some trouble talking about our interpersonal issues in the locker room, aka this is why this week we didn't play as well. Like, they're never gonna say that. And they're never gonna say anything like that. They're gonna say, you know what, we're gonna work on it, we're gonna back that right away. And I understand that that is necessary. I've never been in an NFL locker room in my whole life. I don't know what it's like. I don't know what it's like to make $500,000 bajillion dollars in a second. I have no idea what that's like. And I have no idea what it's like to have the pressure that they have on their shoulders. I think humanizing the world of NFL football is also extremely appealing, at least to me. Speaking of humanizing the NFL, we can talk about how Dan Campbell, aka head coach for the Detroit Lions, aka holy shit, has to move. He has to move because a classmate of his daughters, leaked their address. At first, I thought it was a friend that accidentally leaked it on Snapchat. The further I read, it sounds like it was a disgruntled parent group's kid leaked it on Snapchat intentionally. Like, something about him always going for the extra point or something like that. Whatever the tagline was. Like, this was a child, and now he has to move. So yeah, humanizing the NFL. Just like, be nice. Like, you remember back in kindergarten, like, treat others how you want to be treated? Yeah, I think we should all do that. Yeah, I'm really excited for the Giants-Cowboys game. Again, this year, I feel like anything can happen. Anything can happen. Where, like, with the way that the Cowboys are playing right now, I mean, the Giants could beat them simply because the football gods are like, you know what? I'm stirring. I'm going to stir it up. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this motivates anybody to do anything different. The Giants deserve a win sometimes too. Need an incentive to play harder. And maybe if they lose to the Giants, they'll be like, okay, we have to get it together. Oh, okay. So Trevor Lawrence. Talk to me last year. Before they went, did they go to Germany? I think they went to Germany last year. I could be wrong. I was like, he is on his roll. He's like, at that rookie point, he had been in the NFL for like 3 or 4 years at this point. Like, he's rolling now. Like, he's getting it. He's making some passes. He's getting really confident, yada, yada, yada. And I believe it was around the same time. They haven't won a game that day or since. And at one point, before lots of contracts got written this year, like he was the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. So why are you losing to the Bills with 3 points? Like, what's happening? Is it the baby? Who knows? I said that about Patrick Mahomes too. Every time one of his babies was born, I was like, this is why he's choking. But it was never true. I was never right. But maybe, maybe this time it's different. Maybe he's just like really excited about being a dad, and maybe he's really thinking about what this world offers. I don't know. I feel like for some people that's a motivating factor. Look at the Watts. Like, their kids are their why. They are so dominant, right? Like, they do this for their boys and girls, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what TJ's having, but Jair Alexander and his INT. I love it when that man makes a big play in football. He's one of the most colorful Packers players to exist, and I'm obsessed. I just love it. I think it's really great. Hey, by the way, if you have things that you want to hear me talk about, if there's things that you're curious about my fantastically popular view about, put them in the comments. We can have a conversation. I can look it up. I can pay more attention. I'm a woman. I can do it all. So let's do this together. Let's have like a different perspective on the NFL other than, listen to what everybody's saying and then think about maybe the other side. Because she doesn't know football, but she talks football. See ya.